Alrighty. For those of you who know me on the YouTube, this is NickRiddle. For those of you who are in my class, if you happen to be watching this is Justin. I am here with the legendary MVD.
Hi.
Alrighty. And I'm going to interview him. 25 questions for English class.
25?
Question 1. Why do you keep your hair so long?
Because I always hated getting haircuts when I was younger. Just one day I decided, Mom, no haircut. And then 8 years go by.
Okay. Number 2. How do you keep your hair so perfect and delicious smelling?
It takes a lot of effort. It's annoying. But everyone, including myself, loves how it looks and smells. So gotta make sure it's up to par with how it should be.
Okay, now questions that actually do not pertain to your head. Number 3. What does your gamer tag MVD stand for?
That doesn't stand for anything. It just sounds really cool.
So why did you pick it?
Just one day when we, friends of mine and myself, we were playing Smash before it came out because someone had the Japanese copy of it. And we just saw big gamer tags.
You just picked MVD.
It sounded cool.
What got you into competitive gaming?
My friend held a house tournament, and somebody who was into competitive Smash went to it, and I beat him, and he told me about gigabits, and that started it all.
Who was this person?
It was Eddie 8-Bit.
You beat 8-Bit on the first turn. Okay.
Yeah, it was fun. It's on YouTube too. See how bad I was.
So, you're currently number 1 in the state. What did you do to make it this far?
Lose for 2.5 years. It took a long time, a lot of practice, playing with the best in the state, you know, just being determined, pretty much.
Did you believe you would make it this far? Why or why not?
Yeah, because it's something I wanted to do. I wanted to become the best in the state, regardless of who was here. I wanted to go far in the game, and that's why I stuck to it.
Does being number 1 change the way you think about other things in your life in any way that would be, I don't know, associated maybe with a ranking? Why or why not?
A little bit, because there's a sense of pride in being number 1. For me, I don't know how to hurt anyone else, but I see if I could achieve being number 1 at something after so many years in a video game, then I could definitely translate that to anything I want to do in life.
How do you manage to stay on top? You've been number 1. There was 1 season so far, and now I'm pretty sure you're going to be number 1 again as soon as I tally the votes.
Yeah. Just the same hard work and determination, just keep practicing and making sure you're keeping up with everybody else, because at that point everyone's out to get you, so you gotta make sure you can still beat them.
So like you said before, it took years for you to claim the top spot. What happened to just click for you, and how did it change your way of looking at the game?
I used to think a little too much, so I kind of dumbed it down. I'm just being honest, dude. Like, I don't know, just going with the flow and just seeing what works with certain things and why things work, and just develop a deeper level of reading other people and just not worry about what you're doing so much. Like, don't think about all your moves, just think about how you can make them all work.
I know that many professional sports / esports / other video game players end up incorporating something that they're doing in school or in work into their game. How do you incorporate those type of things to enhance your gameplay? As in Sabrick is in his psychology degree, he uses some of that to learn how people would react.
Right. I'm a business major, so
it's all about the money.
I guess that's the only relevant thing to being number 1. There's not really anything I could pick out from business administration or anything to help you get better in the game.
What was the biggest sacrifice you've ever made for the game? As in, have you missed any social events, didn't study for a test, etc., etc.?
Oh, I never study for tests. But yeah, there are definitely times that, like, you know, midterms times, and it's like, oh, we have to study. It's like, I can study, or I could go practice and then cram like everyone else should be doing.
Okay. Where do you see yourself in gaming and in general in 5-10 years in the future, basically?
Well, hopefully Brawl will have a scene still. Probably not, but anything's possible. I mean, Melee survived forever for no good reason. And Smash 4 is coming out probably the end of next year, so hopefully that'll have a nice start and it'll keep, you know, the hype and everything. It'll stay alive for a while, and, you know, hopefully doing the same thing, because I've just had the best time with it.
Okay. So you said you're a business major. Why did you pick that?
Ever since I was younger, I was always fascinated with numbers and math, and figuring out how to spend the least amount of money at the supermarket with my mom when I was like 3 or 4, and always counting everything I could count. And it was something that I just liked. It was numbers in general and math, and as I grew up, it just made the most sense to pick it, because that's where all the numbers are.
Other than gaming, what do you do in your spare time?
Well, I go to school, so a lot of school stuff. Throughout the week, it's just, you know, I do online classes, so studying for whatever I have that week, doing work for whatever I have to do that week. Play Yu-Gi-Oh! On the side occasionally, not too much anymore, but, you know, hang out with people, normal stuff.
Did anybody help you reach the top spot, or are you kind of that type of person who just goes it alone?
Well, too many people helped me reach the top spot. I've had help from, you know, all of my friends that aren't competitive gamers, because I used to play Smash with them all the time. So, you know, they were the foundation for everything, and then playing on Wi-Fi, on game battles. Yeah, just having the support of friends and family outside of the competitive scene. And then, of course, everyone that, you know, put me in my place for 3 years and made me feel like, this is going to be tough, you know, maybe I shouldn't do this, but everyone was still encouraging along the way, no matter how many times they beat me. And, yeah.
What bothers you the most about being so good at a game and not something people would believe to be more important?
The fact that they don't think it's important. A lot of people try to diminish competitive gaming, any game really, but a lot of people don't see video games as such an important thing. But I've met so many amazing people through it. I've traveled to all these places I would have never thought I'd go to, Texas. You know, it's just the experiences. It's not just a video game. It's so much more than that. And for those who think otherwise, then I feel sorry for them.
So, why Snake?
Well, one day a friend of mine who lives in my neighborhood, his name is Gilbert, he played Snake from the beginning. And my original list of characters were Zero Suit, Diddy Kong, Meta Knight, like everybody, because standing up he was really good online. Ike, Wolf, you know, simple Wi-Fi stuff. And my friend Gilbert tells me that I should try Snake. And I would always tell him, no, he looks like he's trash, you know, he looks slow and clunky, and he doesn't move well. He doesn't look fun to me. So then he said, dude, just try him out, see what happens, you might like him. And as soon as I picked him, when I pressed the B button and a grenade came out, and then I figured out how you could throw grenades and just everything you could do with his C4s and landmines and everything, it was just the explosions. That's what kept me around it. And the fact that he lived forever. That was nice too.
What's the biggest obstacle between you and staying number one?
Probably the amount of time that I should put in the game to remain number one, because I don't own the game or the system at home, so I can't really keep up with anything on my own. I have to always practice with my competition, and I have no time to just figure out things that no one else will see, and then surprise, I just have to figure things out as I go. So that's pretty much it.
Do you think you can maintain your spot until you stop playing Brawl?
As for the state ranking, I definitely think I could. It's not going to be easy. Nothing's ever easy. But, getting here was hard enough, but staying there is when it's more difficult, more pressure, expectation-wise. And just, I think I can go further. Just, there's always room for improvement. In everything.
When you eventually stop playing video games, if you do you feel like you'd quit on your own, or would it be some external force, like work gives you absolutely no time and school is also there and whatever?
If I had a choice, I don't think I'd ever stop playing video games, because I've done that ever since I could remember. My first gift as a kid was the Super Nintendo. So, for me, I don't think there's anything that I would willingly want to stop. It would have to be something like work. But even then, I'd probably still make time because it's something I love.
What advice would you give new players?
To never give up and always have confidence. Like, even if you're losing, getting last place at every tournament you go to, always take stuff from it. Learning experience, that's, it's not just a gaming lesson, it's a life lesson. There's always room for improvement. Everyone can get better. If they could do it, you could do it. You just got to push yourself.
At this point, do you feel like anybody wanting to come into the Smash scene should, or do you feel like they should just wait for Smash 4, which is coming out sometime next year?
I think it's good to play Brawl, because as Nintendo already said that they're going to have most of the mechanics and most of the physics and everything will be Brawl-like. There's going to be some melee in it too, but from what it looks like now, it looks like it's more Brawl than anything. And it's always good to have a good foundation. Just start somewhere, because you learn the smarts and the mind games and how to think and how to read. You can do that now instead of waiting.
Do you ever feel like your character weighs you down?
That's a trick question or something.
Why or why not?
That's a trick question.
I'm doing the interview for people who don't necessarily play.
Right. If I were to give advice to new players, like, Snake would definitely not be a character I'd recommend, because his learning curve is ridiculous. One of the hardest characters to learn how to play. And it's very frustrating to play, because there are just some games that you don't have control of your character and it becomes a one-player game. You're a spectator. And it's stupid, and it's annoying. But I don't think Snake holds me down. There are times that, yeah, it sucks, but there are other times that, things happen, and life's pretty good.
What's the closest you've ever come to quitting?
That's actually really funny. It's really funny. After Skatar 2 doubles, to be 100% honest.
Really?
Yes. I went outside. I was very mad at myself with how I would play it, because I know the reason why E7 I lost, and I was just feeling so bad about it. I was like, man, this is so stupid. We used to place top 3, top 4 all the time. Now we're getting 17th, and it's my fault. And I felt like crap. So I was like, man, forget this. I'm done.
And then you proceeded to get second at
I got second.
the highest placing you ever have out of state.
Yeah, so if that wasn't a sign or something, I don't know what is.
Okay, now the last one's a bit of a personal question. I know that your mother currently lives in New York for work. What's the hardest part about living apart from her?
A lot of things. It's really difficult. Everyone's known me as a mama's boy since I was young. I've had her and my grandmother my entire life, and just not having half of that equation there, it really sucks. Not just being so used to seeing her every single day, and let me show mom this cool thing real quick, or hey, let me watch this TV show with her, things like that, and just seeing her presence, it's not normal. It's very weird. But thankfully, I still have my grandmother and my grandfather, and they're always gonna be there for me. I want them too, but it's just a little different. It's unfortunate, but that's how it goes sometimes.
Alrighty, well, thank you very much for the interview. Yeah, that's about it. Bye-bye.
Adios.